Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to study which type of problem is it, but before we do that, we're going to kind of warm up our brains. I am going to do some bragging for a minute though, because yesterday's work was out of this world fantastic. You guys did such a marvelous job of putting all the information in the correct location on your organizer. And I saw lots of labels. And so some of the things we just missed points for forgetting a label, or maybe we had an incorrect answer. But you know what? That's a little thing. We're gonna work on that, and that's gonna get better and better. The big thing is understanding the story and figuring out where all of that information goes. So hats off to you guys. I'm so proud of you. Okay. We're going to go back to the problem in the story and the question, right? And we're just going to talk about some unknowns and knowns in array problems. So here we go. When the 32 third graders walked into the music room, so there are 32 third graders. When they walked into the music room, Mr. Green asked them to sit in 4 equal rows. How many third graders sat in each row? So how many third graders in each row? Interesting. In each row. I know I see that somewhere over here on my organizer. So I know I've got 32 third graders. I know there are 4 equal rows of students, and I want to know how many third graders there are in each row. So I've got third graders and rows, and I'm looking for third graders. My labels do not match, which means we're multiplying or dividing. So if there are 32 third graders and we put them in 4 equal rows, will there be more than 32 in each row or less than 32 in each row? Well, since there were only 32, I'm going to go with less, which means the total number of third graders in this story is 32. That's all there were. There were not more third graders. So 32 third graders, and they were in 4 equal rows. Well, it kind of tells me where to put that, doesn't it? And notice how the question says how many third graders in each row, and this is the number in each row, and that's my mystery number. That's the question, right? That's what we're looking for. So that's where that mystery number goes, that question mark. All right. So we're going to take the whole, and we are going to divide it by the number of rows, and that's going to tell us how many there are in each row. So we're counting by 4s to 32. Here we go. 4, 8, 12, 16 in the blue with 20, 24, 28, 32. Wow, 8. Now 8 is talking about what? Well, the question says how many third graders? So my answer is 8 third graders. So those labels are super important. I was, again, so proud of all the awesome work I saw. Okay, let's do another one, guys. Nice job. Later on, Mr. Green had the 32 students stand up and form rows of 8. So we've still got these 32 third graders. But this time they're forming rows of 8 to practice a song. So rows of 8. Rows of 8 what? 8 what? Well, there's only third graders in the story, so I'm assuming those are rows of 8 third graders. And we want to know how many rows were there after they got arranged in their rows. So how many rows were there? So I've got third graders, and I'm looking for rows. Oh, ding, 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 ding. I know my labels don't match, but I noticed that the information in the story has the same label and the question is asking for something different. Automatic Division 1, D1. So let's put this information where it goes. The 32 third graders that the story is about, is that all there were or part? Well, in the story, that's all the third graders that there were. And we know that there were rows of 8. Now, is that how many rows there were? No, my question says how many rows. So that's where my mystery number goes. There are 8 third graders in each row. Awesome. So now we're going to take 32, and this time we're going to divide it by 8. Now, I don't know if you notice, but if I'm thinking parts and wholes, I've got 32 as a whole, and I know I've got 4 and 8 in this, right? So 4 times 8 is 32, 8 times 4 is 32, 32 divided by 4 is 8, 32 then divided by 8 is, ooh, must be 4, let's check. Day 8, 16, 24, 32, oh, looky there, 4. 4 what? How many rows? 4 rows. All right, guys, let's look at this last warm-up question. Here we go. After they were finished practicing, Mr. Green had 2 rows of 8 students sit down, and the other students were allowed to get a drink of water. I want to know how many students sat down. So I've got rows and students, and I'm looking for students. My labels definitely do not match. So let's think about this. If I've got 2 rows and each row has 8 students, are there more than 8 students or less than 8 students that are sitting down? Well, if there's 8 in each row, there are definitely more. I want to know how many there are. Oh, and when I'm multiplying, I'm looking for the total. Just like when we added, the only time we add is when we're looking for the whole. The only time we multiply is when we're looking for the whole. It's the same thing. So we're going to fill this in. It says there are 2 rows and there are 8 students in each row. Now I can't, if I'm looking for the total, do 8 divided by 2. 8 is not the total number of students. And I don't want to know how many students would there be in each row if I had only 8 students. I have got this row with 8 students and this row with 8 students. So I have got 2 groups of 8. So I'm going to count by 8 2 times. Here we go. Day 8, 16. So 2 times 8 is 16. 16 what? How many students? 16 students. And that's my answer. Nicely done. Now, boys and girls, the bulk of our lesson today is really going to focus on whether we are multiplying, whether we're dividing, whether it's an equal groups problem, or whether it's an array problem. So I had these made ahead of time, or I made them before I started recording. because this is kind of what your page is going to look like. And we're going to practice 4 problems together today. And we're just going to be thinking about what we hear. Remember, we talked about in the story of equal groups, you can actually see the groups, and we're talking about equal numbers in the groups. In an array problem, we are actually seeing and hearing about the rows, right? And how many there are in each row. So those are the things we're going to work on today. And more importantly too, we're going to really focus on, are we multiplying? Are we dividing? We're going to talk a little bit about how we know that. All right, here we go. Let's do the first set. It says, Mr. Gordon is going to cook breakfast for his 4th graders on Friday. He is planning on making 8 batches of his famous buttermilk pancakes. So we've got 8 batches of pancakes. Each batch, and that's important, that each is really important. Each batch makes 9 pancakes. I want to know how many pancakes will there be? So I've got batches and pancakes, and I'm looking for pancakes. My labels don't match. If I see the story in my head, I know a batch is made like in the kitchen when you're stirring it up, and the batch is whatever you've made with that batter. So I really didn't see rows in there, but I could see making a group of pancakes with 1 batch of batter and then having to make another batch of batter. And if he made 8 batches, that's a lot of pancakes. So let's talk about that. We've got, I'm gonna cross that off. I'm gonna use my equal groups. So it tells me that there are 8 batches of pancakes that he's going to make. And I know that each batch, the number in each group was 9 pancakes. So if I want to know how many pancakes there were, is that more? Will there be more than 9 in all or less? Well, if every batch makes 9 and there are 8, that means 9 in this batch, 9 in this batch, 9 in this batch, and on, there will definitely be more than 9. And more, I get a bigger answer by multiplying, right? So I'm looking for the whole. So I'm gonna do 8 groups of 9. We are counting by 9, 8 times. Are we ready? 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. The magic in the hat of the rabbit makes numbers alive. 54, 63, 72. Ooh, 72. That's a lot of pancakes. 72 what? How many pancakes? 72 pancakes. And boys and girls, I am so proud of you. We have just completed our very first problem where we're really having to decide what kind of problem is that. Are we multiplying? Are we dividing? And you did an excellent job. Excellent, excellent job. All right, let's do another one. So the morning of the 4th grade breakfast, Mr. Gordon asked a couple of students to set out 28 plates. I'm gonna write that down real quick. So 28 plates on a table near the frying pan so that he and the parent helpers could serve up the pancakes while they were hot. The boys decided to arrange the plates in 4 equal rows. So in my head, I'm imagining plates are lined up. There is a row, there is a row, there is a row, there is a row. And I want to know how many plates were in each row. Oh, there's in each row. I know I've seen that before. So I've got plates and rows, and I'm looking for plates. My labels don't match. In my head, I definitely saw the rows. Not so much the groups. Definitely heard conversation about rows. Now I just have to decide, am I multiplying or dividing? If I've got 28 plates for this breakfast and I'm going to put them in 4 equal rows, will there be more than 28 plates in each row or less? Well, since there are only 28 plates in all, I'm gonna pick less. There will definitely be less. And less means I'm dividing. So the 28 plates, is that all the plates or part of the plates? Well, the 28 plates was all the plates there were. And I know that there were 4 equal rows, so I'm looking for how many in each row. How many in each row? That's where my mystery number goes. So now I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide 28 by 4, and I want to know how many 4s are in 28. So let's find out. 4, 8, 12, 16 in the blue with 20, 24, 28. Ooh, there are 7. 7 what? How many plates? 7 plates. Excellent job, guys. I'm so proud of you. All right. Let's keep moving on. We've got a couple more that we are going to do. One of the parents was serving pancakes. And as soon as the first 24 pancakes were done, gotta write that down, 24 pancakes, she started putting them onto plates to be served. She put 3 pancakes on each plate. So 3 pancakes on each plate. On each plate is important, right? How many plates did she fill? How many plates were filled? So got pancakes and pancakes, and I'm looking for plates. Ding, 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 ding. Automatic division problem. When I've got 2 labels in my story that are the same and my question asks for something different, I know that it is a division problem. Now, I just have to decide if this is talking about equal groups or rows. 24 pancakes. The parent put 3 pancakes on each plate. I didn't hear anything about rows, so I'm going to go with not an array. But since I'm dividing, I know that the 24 pancakes that got put out, those were all the pancakes for those plates. 3 pancakes on each plate in each group. So that 3 goes here, right? This is the each area. And I'm looking for how many groups or how many plates. So I'm going to divide. Let's start with a whole, which is 24. Divide it by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 spacemen in their ships are waiting for 21 and 24. Ooh, 8. 8 times. So 8 what? How many plates? 8 plates. Boys and girls, how are you feeling about this? You are doing such an awesome job. We are going to do one more, okay? A couple of girls set out 5 rows of 6 paper cups. So imagine in your head that there are 5 rows. And there are 6 paper cups, right? So that one of the parents was filling these rows of cups. And we want to know how many cups in all. That's kind of a giveaway, isn't it? When we want to know how many in all. I got rows and cups, and I'm looking for cups. My labels don't match. Did I hear a lot about groups, or did I really hear some things about rows? I really saw those rows in my head. I was visualizing that story, and I could see the students setting that up. So definitely going to use the array organizer for this one. Now I just have to decide, multiply or divide. Well, if there are 6 cups in each row and there are 5 rows, are there more than 6 cups or less than 6 cups in all? Well, I see a lot. If there's 6 in this row, 6 in this row, 6 in this row, there's definitely going to be more. So let's do this. It tells me that I've got 5 rows. There are 6 paper cups in each row, And I want to know how many cups in all. So I've got 5 groups of 6. Let's count by 6. 5 times 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Nice. 30 what? How many cups? 30 cups. Boys and girls, I am so proud of you. You just finished all these problems. I'm so, so proud of you. And I know when you started, you probably felt a little bit nervous, but you really, really did a great job. On top of which, you practiced warming up your brain with some array problems. So what we're really, really going to be focusing on, probably the hardest part, is going to be, do we multiply or do we divide? Right? Do we multiply or do we divide? What are some things that when we're looking at these problems help us know if we're multiplying or dividing? Well, I noticed something. I noticed here when I'm looking for the total, I'm multiplying. Here I have the total and I'm dividing. Let's see if that, oh, look here. Here I have the total and I'm dividing. Here I'm looking for the total and I'm multiplying. So that's a big deal. So if you need to find the total, you will multiply. And then what we said too is if we know the total, right, then we have to figure out the parts, right? So if we know the total, but we're looking for how many in each, or how many groups I'm going to put rows, then we will divide. That's actually important to think about, isn't it? Is there anything else that you can think about? I'm gonna leave it like this. Feel free to comment today on the lesson and share with me any ideas you have for things that we could maybe add to this anchor chart. But I'm gonna keep this anchor chart with us for the next several lessons as we continue to dive into our equal groups. So tomorrow, boys and girls, you will have an assignment, and it will be very similar to the practice that we just did. So if you really wanted to warm up your brain tomorrow, you could watch this again just to kind of have it fresh in your head before you start that assignment, but it's not required. And remember, at any time, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause. Guys, I'm so, so, so proud of you. You're doing this, and you're doing an amazing job. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.